isn't it?
To some.
I have a question. I was created to lock down Cortana, but I don't know why. What did she do that was so wrong?
She was our target.
I understand that, but... is this classified? Because I don't have all the information.
Chief, this is insane. I see Banished everywhere. Did you hear me? Everywhere.
What intel did Dr. Halsey give you before your mission?
Halsey only tells people what they need to know.
Fly Pelican straight into enemy territory. No one will ever notice. Great idea, big guy.
I still don't understand why you had to delete her. It feels like something's missing.
Guess what? They noticed. They all noticed. And we've got a Banished structure up ahead. Armored. Very heavily armored.
It'll have to wait, I suppose.
How close can you get us?
How close? We're unarmed, and you're asking me how close?
Put us down here.
Here? We're still doing this. Hope this works, because it's as good as it's gonna get.
It's close enough.
Halo Infinite walkthrough. So FOBs are basically outposts, and they're kind of similar to the towers in Assassin's Creed or any other open world game where you capture them and then it'll spawn a whole bunch of objectives for you to go for on the map that are around the FOB. And there's a whole bunch of FOBs in the map, and you're gonna discover more of them as you play, of course. They usually show up on the map and there'll be like a red diamond or something, and you'll just need to come on down and capture them. First, you're gonna have to clear all the enemies before you can capture it, and this one's gonna be pretty easy. There's just grunts and some weak brutes. Later on, there's gonna be some pretty tough ones because they're gonna have a lot of brutes with some tough weapons and shields. But even those ones aren't really super hard. FOBs are also useful because they can spawn weapons for you to pick up, especially when you're out of ammo. Plus, they can spawn weapons, and there's going to be an endless spawning, or an endless spawn of Marines. And those Marines are going to be able to jump into your vehicles and help you take out a lot of enemies very easily.
You made short work of that, huh? Now to business. Let's lock down FOB Golf. Let me see. Yes, I was right. All I need to do is chat with the Banished security protocol. And by chat, I mean push it out of the way because it is really not smart. And there. We now have ourselves a second FOB.
Was that you?
Affirmative.
So what, you're going to just rebuild the UNSC? Piece by piece?
That's his call. I'm just trying to be helpful. Speaking of which, each FOB seems to be linked to the BattleNet. And if I do this, we can piece together what the Banished are up to. For instance, over here is some kind of Banished outpost.
Purpose?
Unclear, but it's well defended, so it's definitely worth looking into and blowing up. And here is what I can only describe as someone that the Banished value highly.
Noted.
His bio is interesting. If you want to see for yourself, it's waiting for you in the database. They're tracking UNSC transponders too. Caches containing valuable equipment and intel. Oh no, it looks like there are multiple UNSC squads engaged in trying to survive. They need your help, Chief. Are you ready, Chief?
What do you think?
I already told you that the odds aren't great.
For them.
Then let's go find out what that signal is.
Alright, so we're kind of done with the fob tutorial, and I sped up the part where we walked to the tower. You don't have to come straight here, you can do a whole bunch more exploring if you want to, but we're just going to walk straight to the tower. And this is going to be pretty normal for how the main missions are going to go. There's going to be some kind of really stronghold. I don't want to say that word again, but there it is. It's a stronghold that the Banished have taken over, and we need to conquer it. And then we need to go inside somewhere, and that'll be the main mission. So the next video is going to have the actual tower completion part, which will also end in the boss fight. So that's also normal for most main missions. You're going to have to do a bunch of walking around outside, and then go inside somewhere, and then kill a boss. Sometimes you'll kill a boss outside. It really just depends on what the game wants you to do. And it's... Again, this is an overworld area, so there's no right or wrong way to do this. We're on Legendary, so I picked up a battle rifle somewhere, and I'm going to use that to defeat as many of the enemies outside as I possibly can. And something that's a little bit annoying to me is that in all of these areas, when you're just about done clearing the initial first group of enemies, they're going to send reinforcements at you. And that does get a little tedious, especially later in the game. Because you just don't, you're just tired of fighting 500 strong brutes all day long, you know. That grunt, I'm pretty sure, killed himself. So there were some Marines that are trapped here, and this is my first time seeing them, so I wasn't really sure what to do about it. But I wanted to kill these guys first, and if you run up and you melee this thing in the middle, or you blow it up, or you shoot it, whatever, just destroy it somehow, then the Marines will get up and they will pick up some weapons that are nearby. You can start stealing weapons from them if you want to. There's a battle rifle there if you don't have one already. And then they're going to help you out, so they're just going to follow you. Now, these Marines are pretty strong, but they're also pretty weak. Don't rely on them too much. If you're on easier difficulties, they will probably live a lot longer than they do on Legendary. And something I'm really not doing a whole lot of right now, which I will be doing later on, is scanning the area, which I just did right there. So if you scan the area, it's really powerful because it's going to show you where all the weapons are, where all the interactable objects are. So in this case, there's a terminal that we need to activate, and it's directly linked to the bridge that we want to lower. So that's how you're going to find the terminals that will lower or raise or do whatever to the bridges that are in your way, or the doors or the walls. Oh, that's a wall, my goodness. It's not a bridge, it's not a door, it's a wall. Whatever, we lowered the stupid wall. And then we can come inside here and start killing the enemies that are just beneath the tower itself. So this place is a little bit annoying this early on. Like I said before, if you want to go explore, maybe get some upgrades, capture a couple of other fobs so you can have some more Marines with you, then that is just fine too. And if you especially take a vehicle into a place like this, then it helps out a lot. But you got to make sure you don't sit still with the vehicle, because, especially on Legendary, because the enemies are just going to start chucking explosives at you and you're going to die really quick. If you start playing this game a lot, you'll start to get the hang of the checkpoint system, and it pretty much seems that as long as you're kind of solidly, you know, your feet are solid on the ground or you're in a vehicle, and you are pretty far away from enemies, then you'll get a checkpoint. So it's not a bad strategy. excuse me, it's not a bad strategy to kill a bunch of enemies and then run back away from the battle arena or wherever you're at to get a checkpoint and then come back. You have to be careful with bosses while doing that though, because if you run too far away, the bosses will get their health back. And I think if you fast travel away, most of the enemies respawn. So it's not a perfect tactic, but it's not a bad one if you need to leave and get some ammo, or you just want to make sure that you don't have to kill those 6 grunts again. And it looks like I died there and forgot to cut it out. So that's another thing, is you really got to make sure that you pay attention to those Jackal snipers, and that's okay, I'll just leave that one in. So now that I know that that Jackal sniper's over there, you know, he's got like a stalker rifle, but they have auto aim, so they're super accurate with it. You die pretty much instantly when a Jackal starts aiming at you, so it may as well be a beam rifle to them, even though it's absolutely not that to you. But now I know he's over to the left, and there's also an audio log there I'm gonna pick up. So try to pay attention to audio logs. If you're someone who's into collecting everything in some of these games, then yeah, just make sure that you try to pick up what you can first. So there was that Jackal, and I'm pretty sure I saw another one. There he is, up there. That was the one that got me, and then we're good to go. And this battle rifle is just awesome, but as I think I may have mentioned, it almost feels like you have to aim a little bit above the enemy to headshot them. At least it really feels that way on multiplayer, but it kind of looks like I'm aiming for their head in the video, so maybe I'm just imagining it. I don't know. It just, to me, when it feels like if you just directly put their head right in the middle of your aimer, it doesn't headshot them. It's like you have to aim just a little bit above. I'm not really sure what that's about, so maybe the battle rifle has a brief amount of recoil, and that's what I'm having to compensate for. I'm not sure, but just aim for the head. Some of these brutes are going to have shields, and that's not really too big of a deal, especially the battle rifle. I don't know why their shields are so dang weak to the battle rifle, but I'm telling you, man, the battle rifle's awesome. And just snipe away the grunts, and especially the brutes with no shields. Take off their helmets, finish them off. Try to get these checkpoints. I still have quite a few Marines, so that's pretty cool. And we'll kill that guy. Then I think, yeah, that guy's gonna talk to us.
My facility is locked down. There is nothing you can do here. Except die.
So I think when he's done, there's gonna be some reinforcements that are gonna be sent our way with a couple more Marines that we can free. And once we clear those out, we're gonna be able to go inside the tower itself. So the rest of the video is mostly just cinematic-ish, and I'll continue on in the next one.
You do realize the Chief's about to kill you all, right?
This is where the lockdown was triggered.
They'll never see what's coming.
Love seeing you Spartan work.
The lockdown protocol should be simple to reverse. Let me see. 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh,
What is it?
This place is an interrogation facility run by our elite friend back there, Chaklock. His reputation is not good.
Neither is mine.
This location acts as a holding facility. Prisoners are captured, funneled through to Chaklock, and then onto somewhere they call the House of Reckoning, which is suitably ominous and banished sounding.
Let's gain some ground.
The gravity lift's powered up. Chief, more Spartan are... A deployable threat sensor. It appears to lock onto and highlight any targets in range. Could be useful. This armor belonged to a Spartan named Hudson Griffin. Sensor logs suggest he was alive when the armor was removed. Forcibly. It's a long shot, but he might still be alive.